This was so much better than I was expecting. Gosh, it was so good. It was so special. It was so fun.
I'm going to give this movie a...
Ooh! Hello, fellow cave dwellers, and welcome back to today's episode. We're your host, Olivia Devine.
My name... I guess I'm going to go with Anne Hathaway today. That's all I can really come up with. Hello.
He wishes.
We
just watched The Idea of You.
Which is not in theater. Liv really liked this movie. Yeah,
I was kicking my feet. I was screaming. I was holding a pillow. I was throwing a pillow. I was hugging a pillow.
Literally, you were the definition of shitting, pissing, throwing up.
I was punching the pillow. My face is still so red. I was so excited. This was so much better than I was expecting.
Okay, Liv, so let's start. I'm going to ask you, what did you think of the movie, The Idea of You?
I hated it. Ha! Just kidding. I loved it so much. Yeah, what about you?
Like? Okay, that's maybe I'm a bit less of a obvious read today. Was this a rom-com?
This was a rom-com. Okay, so it is so this is our first rom-com that we're doing.
But
and
it wasn't very funny.
Okay, I actually have a note about this, that it is technically called a rom-com, which means romantic comedy for those who do not know. However, I do think that it was more of a just romance, just rom.
Yeah, there was like a little bit of humor in it. There were some funny lines.
There was
some kind of jabs in there, but not really.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, not your traditional.
No, it wasn't
comedy.
super funny. It wasn't like, no, I guess Bridesmaids is about friendship. I'm trying to think of like the proposal.
That
was more.
It actually was better probably for not being a majorly comedic movie.
No, I think it would have been trying too hard.
Yeah. I think they just kind of leaned into what they were trying to do.
It was.
And I will just say from the get-go, I think they executed really well. I think it was a really well-made movie.
Oh, God.
So where should we start? Little recap, because maybe not everyone has seen this one.
Okay, if you haven't seen it, just go see it.
I'm going to give the
not
recap
paid sponsorship,
because you will go 8 hours if I let you. So really quick. Anne Hathaway is a single mother. She had a kid really early. They go to Coachella and she meets this artist that her daughter really likes. They hit it off. They start, should we date? Should we not? They ultimately end up dating, but there's a huge age gap. So it's a bit of a should we date? Should we not date? I think there's like a 15-year age gap. She's 39. She's just turned 40. He's 24. So it's a little bit of a gap.
That's 16.
Yeah. Thank you. And anyway, when they first meet, I'm pretty sure she hasn't had her birthday yet. So it's 15. Gotcha. Anyway, and then it's like, well, should we date? Should we not? And then they decide look, you're too young. We can't do that. And he says, well, maybe in 5 years. And then at the end
Oh my God, stop. That's not included in the summary. You can't just give it away. Yes, you can. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So that's a brief overview of the movie. It's a will they, won't they?
Was it
a
ever?
trial of all times.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so special. It was so fun. That was like one of the first rom-coms we ever watched together.
That's not true. We've seen a lot of rom-coms.
We've seen Crazy Stupid Love,
which is my favorite rom-com.
It makes sense. Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
It's a good rom-com.
That no other film in history has had a bigger plot twist than Crazy Stupid Love.
Yes.
Literally none.
At least for a romantic comedy.
The person sees dead people. Meh. What's another major plot twist?
It was all in his head.
It was all in his head. Meh. Snape was actually a good guy all along.
Yeah. Ryan Gosling is dating Steve Carell's daughter.
Ding, 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 ding.
It doesn't really get better than that.
It doesn't get any better than that. And the face... Anyway, okay, we're not talking about Crazy Stupid Love. We're talking about Starstruck.
So this is one of the first romance movies
He missed
we've
the
ever
joke.
seen.
He missed the joke.
I did. It just went right over my head.
Have you ever seen Starstruck on
Nope.
Family Channel?
No.
So that was basically the Family Channel version of this.
Okay.
Where there's but not with a mom.
Okay.
But anyway,
Okay.
that's why it's a Family Channel version.
Gotcha.
But Patrick, have I ever told you about this story from my childhood?
No.
I actually think I should probably tell you right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I've never told him this, but when I was 16 years old, like Izzy in this movie, not a similar story, but I came downstairs one day because I was sleeping and someone I didn't know had woken me up. And my mom was standing there with tears in her eyes. And there was these guys there in these black suits. And my mom told me, Liv, I have to sell you to One Direction to pay the bills. Did I get you? Did I get you?
Dude, you got me. I was like, where the hell is she going with this? And what does it have to do with
Where are my
anything?
fan fictioners? Where are they?
So
I know you're out there.
The band in this movie,
you're out there.
They're kind of being...
They're totally based on One Direction.
Yes,
okay,
they're
so
definitely
let
being
me
One
get into
Direction.
it. Let me get into it.
Okay.
Because there's just so much. So, have you ever read fan fiction?
No.
No?
No.
A loser. Have you ever lived? No. Everyone can answer that if you've ever read. Have you ever written fan fiction?
No.
He wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where they raised us.
What is the point, Liv?
What is the point?
What are you trying to get
Well,
to?
you totally just missed another joke. So I guess we'll just keep going. So, I actually went back to Wattpad for this episode because I was like, how's Wattpad doing? Because I don't know.
What's Wattpad?
Okay, Wattpad is an insane library for fan fiction. And anyone can write it. Anyone can read it. There are like warnings like, oh, you should be 18, but...
Okay, and so this was kind of in the heyday of One Direction and such.
One Direction fan fiction. So...
It was
lewd
and...
Yes, I took a little stroll down Wattpad, and it was mostly stories about K-pop, but I just have to share this. There was one about Michael Myers that was in the top 50, like the serial killer, that, oh, you never made fun of him when you were a kid, and he actually just loves you. And anyway, I was just like... What?
Oh, wow,
okay,
not what I thought.
That wasn't even the craziest one. So I kept scrolling because I was like, oh my God. And there was one with Bumblebee, like the Transformer. And I was like, oh, cool. It's going to be like, you're like the Megan Fox. But I read the description and it was like, what did it say? The robot falls in love with Y/N, which means your name. So you can insert your name. Okay. So it was a fanfic about you falling in love with Bumblebee, the robot. And I was like, I have to read it. I didn't, but I was like, I'll have to come back to that.
Were there any fan fictions about the mom falling in love with?
Well, see, that wasn't really my demographic.
No.
And I think, what is her name? Robin Lee noted that too. So Robin Lee is an actress and author, and she wrote The Idea of You, which is the book this movie is based off of.
Oh, so this is a book originally.
This was a book originally, and it is loosely based off of Harry Styles from One Direction. She totally admits it.
Nice.
Yeah, I watched an interview, and she was like, here it is, guys. And I was like,
honestly,
duh.
Why not just take a little bit of spice from the real world? It makes things a little bit more relatable. I like that.
50 Shades of Grey is literally a Twilight fan fiction.
Wow.
Yeah, no joke. No joke.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Like art inspires other art.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
except for this podcast.
It is based off of the fan fiction about One Direction, and there's been there was a franchise called After, which was a really famous One Direction fan fiction, and there was also another one about Louis and Harry having like a gay relationship with each other. And people have gone so far to like rewatch shows and interviews and be like dissecting their body language.
I'm sure.
Like that one went really far. Probably made people uncomfortable. But anyway, so that's a little bit of a fan fiction history.
So this movie kind of takes some inspiration from fan fiction.
Totally does. Totally does. And I read fan fiction growing up. I found it on Facebook. I used to do Facebook quizzes.
Okay.
Back in the heyday of Facebook before the adults got there. And then I found a Justin Bieber fan fiction. And the author wrote a new chapter every day. So I would run home from school and I would read that chapter and then I would play Sims. Okay, moving on.
I was going to say, would you like to talk about this movie or would we just like to spend an hour reminiscing in your
everyone listening or watching
sexual development on Justin Bieber erotica,
whatever.
It's porn.
You got porn.
That's a friend.
Yeah, I got your joke, Pat. I did.
Yes, well, there's plenty of lovely people listening.
Everyone listening and or watching, who has ever been into fan fiction would love me to talk about fanfic, but we still are because we're talking about this movie.
Okay.
So back into the idea of you. Thoughts? Feelings?
Where do we want to start?
Oh, anywhere you want.
I thought that the portrayal of Coachella in this movie was very funny.
Oh my gosh. Patrick looked at me because I was like, do you have any idea what this movie's about? And he was like, no.
Yeah, that was the best thing. I was like,
No.
you were like, oh, it's like a rom-com with Anne Hathaway, but it's a little different from most rom-coms. And I was like, yeah, let's do that one.
Yeah.
And
because I was like, it's popular right now. It's high up on Letterboxd and I want to watch it.
yeah, so I just went into this completely blind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Anne Hathaway going to Coachella. In my head, I'm like, that is going to be the whole movie is just them at Coachella. Because that's like a 3-day thing. Going to a music festival is like living a whole lifetime.
Yeah,
I thought the whole movie was just going to be
And you've
there.
been to Coachella.
I have.
So you said you thought it was silly portrayal, expand.
It was funny because it was a very PG, clean looking experience of them in the front crowd.
Right.
That kind of failed to show They
had space.
They had space.
They had space and they were close to the front of one of the most popular bands in that universe.
They looked good.
Yeah.
There were no people
Nobody
doing
was sweating.
anything naughty, such
There was
as
no giant
snorting
pupils.
drugs or blacking out or,
None of that.
It was a very just fun thing to see how a movie that's trying to keep it clean would portray it, because I think that's how you should probably portray a music festival.
It's true.
But if you actually go to a music festival, it's
true.
and
that one has so much
devious.
dust. People aren't clean.
That's
and at the end of the day, you look like
you are not
the end
clean.
of the club.
Also, they were in LA and had their festival clothes on, the same clothes that they were wearing at Coachella, which tells me that they drove from LA to Coachella the same day.
Oh, they did.
That would just not really work.
Okay,
for
so we're
so
going to move
many
on
reasons.
for inconsistencies because rom-coms are just that notorious for inconsistencies.
Yeah.
That's not what they're talking about. That's not why they're there.
Okay.
That's not what I was kicking my feet about.
Anyway, so she's at the
speaking of Coachella, man, when she got her book out, I was like,
my God.
what world?
I was so mad at this lady. I was like, dude, we're at Coachella? You're going to read a book?
The writers, I was like, man, I need to read the book. I need to read the sentence that's like, so Len got out her book.
I think, though, that was to show that she's kind of
she's just not into it.
Yeah.
She's not like other girls. She's 40.
No, yeah, to show that she's
40?
not into that scene and
30?
she's
I know, she's grown up.
not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't supposed to be there. She's supposed to be camping.
Yes.
Of all the things.
Yes.
She's supposed to be camping. She could have camped at Coachella.
It was good. And I thought that the way they met was really nice.
You thought that meet cute was nice?
He walks into her dressing room.
She walks into his dressing room.
She walks into his dressing room and she just thought it was like a public bathroom.
Yeah.
And anyway, that's kind of fun.
Do the bathrooms at Coachella look like that?
No.
Yeah.
No, they're not nice. They're porta potties.
Yeah. But what about VIP?
They're probably nicer, but they're probably don't have
golden porta potties.
Well, they probably don't have fridges that have drinks in them.
I know. Imagine being like, I have VIP tickets, so I'm gonna walk into I guess all of these are bathrooms.
Yeah.
You see an employee come out of it and you're like, that must be a bathroom.
I still thought it was a cute way to meet. Of her kind of realizing, I'm in the wrong spot.
Patrick hasn't watched a lot of romance movies or read a lot of romance books, which is fine.
Okay, Liv, what do you got for me then? Tell me what you really think.
I mean, I thought it was silly. But the whole movie was silly. But actually, the second half of the movie was very emotionally heavy.
It was?
Yeah. The first half, I was like, oh my. But then it really picked up and I was like, hi. But that moment, I was like, no. They could have bonked into each other. I don't know.
What way should they have run into each other, do you think?
They should have been on an elevator and the elevator should have broken down.
No.
That's my
There's
dream.
no elevators at
That's
Coachella.
my dream.
It was a good way to meet.
It was fine. It was fine. I don't have another idea, so I'll stop.
Okay.
Next, I feel like I need to let you carry the reins because I'm going to go through this like not scene by scene.
I mean, I can go through note by
no,
note.
Okay, I'll go next. Oh,
okay. Please.
Okay. Her friend with the curly hair who made that camping comment was hilarious. Like, she was like, why are you going camping alone? Like, something dirt. And I was like, ah, ha, ha.
Yeah, she had a lot of good little zingers.
She had a lot of zingers.
I thought she
and
was
then the
good.
other thing she said was like, when they were talking in the kitchen and talking about age differences, and Solem was like, but you didn't hate when Daniel dated someone way younger. And she was like, yeah, but I hate him and I love you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's incredible.
Actually, should we talk about him? Because he sucked.
I have so much to say about
the
Daniel.
ex-husband of the movie.
Dan.
I feel like you've got so much more to say about this one. So just let it rip, Liv.
Let it rip, tater chip.
This is your movie. This was your pick. What do you have to say about this?
I own it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that he was just such a well, in the beginning, I was like, man, this is such a typical divorced dad shite. You know, like, he was like, yeah, I buy you really expensive presents, but I actually don't go with you. And like bought the car.
And he got her backstage passes to something that she hadn't liked since she was in grade 7. And she was in grade 11, I think.
Yeah.
And she was 17.
Oh, she was
16. So that's like 4 or 5 years.
Like, not paying attention, classic.
There were some of those subtle hints.
Oh my gosh. But
in.
then when he came back and and Hayes was there and he was like, where's my wife or whatever? And I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing to say.
That's a crazy thing to say because that other woman left him. He's like, oh, I'm trying to protect my daughter. And it's like, where have you been? You can't just show up and decide to put in the effort. And it just makes, it just made me so angry.
Well, I think from the perspective of being a parent, I think he was actually in the right.
Yes, but it's also like, he hasn't, thank you.
What has he not done?
He just, like, he hasn't been a parent. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, I want to be a parent now. And it's not because he cared about being a parent. Maybe a little bit, but it's because he was jealous. He didn't want that guy near his wife. It's just so clear the way he called her wife still after like 3 years that he thinks he owns her.
Right.
And because I don't think she's had another relationship since.
Right.
So it's just so clear what he thinks. And I was just like, you suck. You are a dirtball.
He sucks.
And I
Definitely.
think he was using that moment also to get Izzy, the daughter, to like him more. I don't know. It just felt snaky. And he's just a bad guy. He was cheating on her for literally an entire year.
Yeah, he sucks.
Like, he just sucked.
And I hate that he was doing the right thing, but for the wrong reasons.
People who suck can still do the right thing.
Yeah, because he was doing the right thing in that situation for his daughter, but not for the right reasons.
Yeah, that's interesting because is it the right thing then if it's for the wrong? No?
Yes, yes, she needed to get out of there. She was very upset with the situation. Yeah. And honestly, her safety was probably
it was a little bit scary. I felt
and
quite
maybe
bad
that's
for her.
a nice thing that they made him kind of gray. Like, like, fuck this guy, but
pretty dark gray.
It's pretty dark gray.
Unless you see him as white, then he's pretty light gray. He's close to the end of the spectrum that is shite. And maybe it's because I relate to it.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Dude.
As a person.
The scene though, he kind of walks away and it's his new wife and Anne Hathaway talking. Oh my God. That was just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Like, would you like to get Thai food sometime? No. Okay, thanks. Bye. That's like when a customer is really mean to you and you're like, have a fantastic day. Like, because you have to.
Yeah. She's just like, hey, I just want you to know I'm leaving this guy too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he actually does suck.
And I was like, oh, it's going to be like a girl friendship moment. And I was really happy that it wasn't because I was like, oh, cool, a friendship moment. But it's like, no, it shouldn't be.
It should be also, she should also hate Ava.
Yes, I'm sure unless it was told to us that Ava didn't know for an entire year that she was with a married man.
You would know these things because all of the friends knew.
True.
Yeah.
It takes two.
I see what you mean. There's a scenario where Ava's not the bad guy.
Mm-mm.
She's not as bad as Daniel.
No.
She's not.
No.
Because it's the person that is in the relationship
like a
that cheats
badness
that
level.
is worse.
Yes.
But Anne Hathaway has every right to hate Ava.
Yep,
and
I
love that scene.
Her in her life at all. And it's just very, the whole like, oh, she was a young lawyer. It's just very cliche and it's very frustrating. And we're going to get more into that.
Because it does an interesting job of.
We're going to talk a little bit about the
posing.
societal things it goes on about.
Because it kind of flips it.
It does flip it.
Yes, where he cheated on her.
Let's talk about it now.
With a younger woman.
Let's just get into it.
So then she is now with a
younger man. Yep. And
it is obviously different though, because they're not, it's not equal.
No,
I see them trying to kind of like contrast the two, but it's like, well, he cheated on his wife.
Yes, it's different because he cheated.
Yeah.
And she wasn't cheating on anyone, and neither was Hayes. It's totally different.
Yeah, it's just, so were they trying to flip it? Because like, yes, well, okay, she's dating a younger person, but it's so different.
It was, I think that it's different in that regard. It's also, I mean, like, it's not like he was like dating a really famous younger person like she was, but like what people were saying, like cougar, mommy issues, like the fake news stories that were coming out. Those have happened when people have dated younger people, much younger than them. It's interesting. We are never told Ava's age, so it's really hard to directly compare them. All we know is that Ava was younger than Daniel and Hayes is younger than Solène, but we do know Solène and Hayes' age. And Hayes is 24, which is super young.
It is super young.
It is super, like, I'm literally 25 and I'm like, child.
Yeah.
Child bride.
Yeah. Oh my God. A 15-year gap at that age. And you did feel it a lot. Like when they were at the beach house down in France.
Oh, that was the most uncomfortable part.
Yeah. Because you're feeling just that social awkwardness of Solène being around these like
her little boob push up
girls.
I was like, Anne Hathaway, you're a bombshell. Get down there.
Yeah.
Her bathing suit was so cute. Her one piece was so cute. That little jewels.
I don't know. I felt so like when she starts like asking them questions, it was like
they're kind of like
got their like how you would speak to like your friend's mom.
No, they were a bit meaner.
Well, at the start.
Well, can we think that they're also 24?
I guess she was in college, so like 20, let's just say. But at the start of the conversation, she kind of comes down before everyone's there, and it's like,
yeah,
she's saying, "Oh, how are you doing?" And I know they're a little mean, but it's got this. We're good, It's the old ladies like in here now. We can't really say how we want to act.
They kind of stopped acting like when she was watching them.
Yeah.
It was really awkward. And then for Ollie to be like, yeah, we played that song when we're trying to impress someone in the crowd. And I was like, oh.
You don't say that.
You don't say that. I feel like there's been other movies that it's like, oh, you do this. Oh, the last song. When you've never seen that, have you?
The last what?
Okay. So when Liam Hemsworth in the last song takes Miley on a bunch of dates, and then the mean girl is like, oh, did he take you on all these dates? Yeah, he did that for me too. You're just the girl of this summer. It rang very similar to that.
That girl sounds jealous.
Yeah, exactly. She was jealous. This is different. They weren't jealous. They were literally just like, you're old. And 40 isn't even old.
No, and it's Anne Hathaway.
It's not in that universe. But it's kind of like a Barbie moment where it's like, if you were trying to portray like an older, haggard-looking lady,
yes,
Anne Hathaway was not the person to choose.
Yes, because they're trying to say, like Margot Robbie is supposed to look really ugly now.
Yeah, she was like,
but it's
I
Margot Robbie.
So bad.
Yeah.
And everyone in the theater is like, no. And then Helen Mirren comes in. Margot Robbie never looks bad.
Yeah. And so same vibe with Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
It's like she's all like sad about her boobs. It's like, you're Anne Hathaway.
Yes, but they do such a good job acting with it though.
And like it's still portrayed when she looks at the girls in the bikinis.
Yeah. And when they're talking, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it was really uncomfy.
Oh my gosh.
You know what else was an uncomfy scene for me to kind of hop around?
Yeah.
The party scene where there's like all these dudes trying to rizz her up.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Dude, it's so
That
uncomfortable.
one guy's like, I don't know, split is a strong word. Hi, honey.
Yeah,
Like, he's still
yeah,
married.
yeah.
He's still in a fantastic what his wife thinks is a
But
fantastic
they're all like,
relationship.
dude, Anne Hathaway is at this party. I got to shoot my shot.
They're all like, Anne?
Hello,
Anne?
Anne.
Oh my God. Did you know Shakespeare's wife's name was Anne Hathaway?
That is crazy.
Oh, you didn't know? Wow. Fun fact from Nerd
Do you
Live.
think that Anne Hathaway's parents knew that and were like, we must name her
I've
Anne?
tried to look that up and I have found nothing.
And we need more Anne
I'm
Hathaway
also not
lore.
good at it. My middle name's
Dude,
Anne.
She is such a good actress.
Oh
Can
my
I
gosh.
say actress? Do we just say actor? I don't.
Say actress.
Because I know people are like weird about waitress. Like you shouldn't say
She's
waitress,
in-
just say server.
Oh, okay. She's in.
Dude, Anne Hathaway is such a good
server.
She's a great
Serving.
server.
Yeah.
I know she's in like everything, but like
Have you seen Ella Enchanted?
no.
Okay, that's fine. There were a lot of moments in this movie that were similar moments in Ella Enchanted. Like she's telling the prince not to leave, and it's very similar to when she's telling Hayes. Like,
oh, okay.
no, I guess not. No, she's breaking up. Like she's saying to the prince, "I can't do this," and then she says that to Hayes. Wow, I saw Ella. I was like, childhood.
Aw.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very nostalgic. But I was like, man, Anne, you're really good. You got me, girl. You got
Yeah.
me. What else is she in? Alice in Wonderland. Les Mis. She won an award for Les Mis.
Oh.
She won Best Supporting Actress for Les Mis.
She's probably in something else I've seen.
She's really good at singing. She's Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises.
She's Catwoman in
Yep.
The Dark Knight Rises.
There was something else I thought that you would know about.
Probably.
But is there anything else you want to say about the age thing? That was a tough one.
Their first kiss was hot. Dude, the piano kiss. They're holding hands. Kind of
And then
grabs
he touches her thigh. I was like,
kind of brings her in. I was like, oh.
oh my gosh. Oh, Interstellar. She's in Interstellar.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, she has really short hair. And
Oh.
Princess Diaries and Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yep.
honorable
Yeah,
mentions.
Those are some
Okay.
good ones.
Back to
I really liked
the sea.
the intimacy scenes in this movie. I thought that they did a very
They had great chemistry.
good. They did have great chemistry. It just didn't feel so like
We need to kiss because we're actors.
yeah.
Like I was like, these people are in love.
This is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say about that?
Ooh, when they have sex for the first time in the apartment, it was really funny because
The hotel.
sorry, that was a hotel.
Yep.
Yep. Not. It looked like an apartment because he had
he's
such a
rich.
nice hotel. Yeah. They have sex in the apartment.
Oh
It was
my
an
gosh.
apartment in the hotel in New York, and they're kind of like getting naked. And then there's this moment where she just like turns around and is like ass up, and I'm like, what? We looked at each
Man.
other and we were like, damn, they're
We-
just sending it.
We were like holding hands, like kind of like we weren't like holding hands, but our hands were like touching because I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
they're kissing, they're gonna do it. And then she kind of turns around and we were both like,
Because we thought they were just about to like send it.
yeah, I
Like,
really
very
thought.
little.
But I was
warm
like,
up.
I have read so many romances. They have to start in missionary. There's no other option.
And you were right. He was just taking off her dress. He was unzipping
unzipping
the dress.
He was unzipping.
Did you like that? I thought that was a bit of a weird outfit. I'm going to be honest. I thought she looked great, but I don't know.
We had bad lighting on our TV.
We did, but like a
Anne
white.
Hathaway looks bad in nothing. It was cream. It was cream.
I'm not saying she looked bad.
It was
She
sheer.
looked great. I just thought it was a weird choice.
It was giving a nude illusion with lace.
Okay. You liked it?
I wouldn't wear it, but I understand the choice. I know what she was doing.
Okay.
She is an older woman giving class sexy. She's not
Yeah.
taking off her coat to be like, here's my G-string and garter high
Agreed.
socks.
Agreed.
Like, she's like, I'm no prostitute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree on the choice
It
to
brought
go
class. It was very
classy,
wedding
sexy.
dress
That's
sexy.
Great. That's a good point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you ever need
still-
someone to talk about costumes, come talk to me.
I just still thought it was a bit of a weird outfit, but I get what,
What
you're
would
going
you
for.
have dressed her in, you male?
The thing she was wearing in the previous like scene they
the
were hanging
purple
out on,
outfit.
that was sick.
Okay, yeah. But you
Dude,
just
that
really
was a
like-
sick fit.
Patrick has never talked about outfits, but when she came out in that like purpley, like it was a strapless dress.
Yes, but then there was a blue like thing on over
there was
it, like very, very dark
like
navy.
Ultraviolet, like velvet blazer. Pat was like, that's a sick outfit.
Dude, her attire through this movie was like some of my favorite things.
Well,
like,
yeah, she's an art woman.
Exactly, and she crushed that.
Yeah,
like,
they were going very much for
like
stereotype.
professional, but like, goddamn, you look so fun.
A boss woman.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
Anne Hathaway.
Miss Mail. I actually didn't really like the sexy clothes she was wearing, and I was more into her day-to-day attire.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I liked everything she was wearing. Anyway.
That's
the chemistry. The chemistry was amazing.
Yeah.
And
they had it. How
Oh no. We can't forget there was the scene in the hotel, but was this New York? Yeah, it was New York. And it was after they had sex for the first time and they ordered room service and he was doing the chicken finger dance. That's top tier rom-com moment for me. It was so cute. And he looked hot. That's it. I really appreciated the chicken finger dance.
Honestly, the whole thing of like banging and then ordering a bunch of great food.
And it was a bunch of great food. I'll have the chicken fingers, please.
That is great food.
I know.
No, that is the type of food
I always want to order chicken fingers for room service.
Yes, chicken fingers. BLT, not a huge fan, but I like that's what you order.
Yeah, it is.
And a cookie plate. Like that, I agree.
I want a cookie plate.
That whole scene was that the best sequence in the movie? Is that a scene? That whole start to finish?
Yeah, sequence.
I think that was my favorite.
I don't really know.
I love those chicken fingers.
Sequences.
I really want some chicken fingers.
I know. Oh man, they looked good.
Also,
and they were just really cute. And I love when people silly dance.
He took a French fry and pretended to light it and was pretending to smoke
smart.
it. That was great.
Smart, I say.
That was amazing.
Man.
Ooh.
Film critics are gonna all the film critics listen to us. They're gonna listen to this and be like, oh, sweet heavens, take the pod mics away.
But that's the great thing about this podcast is we are not critics.
That's
so
true.
We're not here like the average movie is a 5.0. Our average movie is like an 8 because we're like, yeah, it's pretty good to me. I enjoyed it. But it's good because it's relatable.
It's true.
You know, do you go to the movie and hate every movie? That sucks for you.
Man, yeah, those people are not fun.
I don't want to be that person.
But I have fun watching this.
Me too.
Yeah. And we get to do it together, which is fun.
I wanted to touch on the relationship between the daughter and the mother.
Wait!
Oh. Okay.
Wait, one more thing about Hayes before we get into mother-daughter relationship. I have
we've
to
got
say,
a lot to say about him.
I know he's a musical artist, but when he looked at the piano, I was like, oh, for the love of God, here comes Wonderwall. Like, I don't know. And he just started, and I was like, not to bring up Barbie again, but I was like, isn't this what Barbie warned us about with that scene? All the Kens are playing the guitar. Like, I was like, oh, he's going to entrance her with his piano playing now. And it was like 4, what are the chords? No, 4 notes. 4 chords and 7 years ago.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
Obviously, rom-coms have a gazillion cliches, but the instrument one, I'm like, no.
I think it was to like show.
It's like Chekhov's gun.
It was to
It's like Occam's razor. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
What is that one? Take the easiest route possible?
I think it's like the most likely explanation is often
the one.
The one.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
So it's not, but it is Chekhov's gun.
Actually, it's kind of Occam's razor too. Oh, look, a piano. Oh, look, he's going to play it. That's the easiest explanation.
Kind of, yeah.
It is.
Definitely Chekhov's gun.
Yeah. Chekhov's gun in the sense that, like, that's...
If there's a... Chekhov's Wonderwall. If there is a guitar at a party, a man will play it.
No, trademark. BTC trademark.
Can you keep talking? I just feel like I'm a little washed out.
Oh, okay. Patrick doesn't like to feel washed out. I am keeping it rolling. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yep, Anne Hathaway had a great performance. The choice was incredible. She does a lot of rom-coms, and I think she should be in every single rom-com. She should be in the next Knives Out movie.
Oh, I would like that.
Yeah.
I'd like her to play something not so rom-com-y.
Well,
I know she's done it before.
Watch
yeah,
Interstellar.
whatever.
Watch Les Miserables.
Whatever.
I am French.
One thing I really liked about Daniel.
What? What
is the guy's name? The main guy's name? Hayes?
Hayes.
Back that up. One thing I really liked about Hayes is
yes,
as someone that does somewhat creative things,
mm-hmm.
I actually really related to him.
Okay.
And I related to his fear of creating extremely successful but commercialized content.
Right.
And thinking that you are lesser or a joke or not taken seriously or not respected because you're not as creative as you could be.
Yep.
And I really liked that section where he briefly touched on that. I thought it did a lot for his character.
I think it makes a lot of sense. And it actually made me feel really bad for A-list celebrities.
I think it did a good job of painting that too.
Yeah. And
totally.
I'm often like, oh, boo-hoo, the billionaire is sad. But loneliness is loneliness. Like, you can't pay people to hang out with you and feel like it's a genuine experience.
Yes. And the fear of like, does this person actually like me?
And his dad just talking to him when he like blew up. It's really sad. And I thought that, I agree. I think it did a really good thing for his character. Obviously still kind of cheesy, but I don't know. I thought of like Justin Bieber and how he just got really weird because he was found when he was 14 or whatever. And I don't know. I feel really bad for celebrities.
Yeah. And I think this guy said that he started when he was 14 too.
Yeah.
So it totally messes with you. And that was a nice thing to see at the end of him they showed him as like doing a solo act.
Well, Harry Styles did go solo.
Yeah. You kind of knew this guy was going to go solo.
Yeah.
Because he was starting to do
He's
his own
different.
stuff.
Yeah. I think that they we need more boy bands. Here I am saying that. I feel so bad for celebrities. We need more of them. One Direction's over. We do have K-pop. They're kind of on the decline. So we need them.
Okay.
Somebody listen to this. Get them going.
Okay.
Nobody wants to get up off their ass and boy band anymore.
You're right.
No.
They're all on TikTok.
Do you know what that joke is referencing? Oh man. Okay. Oh my gosh. You've never heard the Kim K? Nobody wants to get up off their ass and work anymore.
Dang it. I have.
That's what I'm
good
referencing.
One.
Yeah. Nobody wants to get up off their ass and boy band anymore.
I'm just.
This is my dream.
Okay.
Some of my favorite fanfics were like we got locked in an elevator together and you're actually really cool and I love you. Like this, when she wasn't immediately like, yeah, I'll go on the European tour with, I'm trying to say tour like properly, not tour. I like my accent. When she didn't immediately say yes to the European tour, I got upset. I was like, why are you saying no? Why? I don't care if you got a kid. You go.
She had to say no, though.
Whatever.
She had to say no to show the reluctance, right? She couldn't just be like, yes, because then she would be, I want this guy for all this stuff. She had to be like, I don't know. She needed to be convinced into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you know that. I know you know that. But.
Do you have anything else about Hayes? Do you feel like you talked enough about like relating to him?
Oh yeah,
because I know you got up to adjust something.
So. Oh no, that was really the one moment. But I thought it was a good portrayal of a famous person.
Yeah, 24 for sure. And I liked that he was 24 and not like 18.
Yes.
I don't know. I was so nervous that he was 18, and I was like, oh.
I thought he was older. I was like, he must be like 27.
Oh no.
But I do think
that's because the actor looks older.
Yeah.
Tall.
It was also nice that they did show his other peers being like a lot more goofy, and because that's so real. Is like yes, I can hang out with all these people my age, but I'm deep down a little bit more mature, and I'm bringing myself down.
I'm different.
I mean, but that's kind of who he was.
I know,
and he really was because he wanted to break free from the music and stuff, right?
That was a question I had when he was like just chilling in his trailer by himself. I was like, would the band not be hanging out together before the show?
Right.
Do bands not hang out with each other?
I don't think no, But it wasn't before the show. It was before the
meet and greet, right?
Because I thought
even
it was,
in the hotel rooms, I was like, do they not hang out with each other?
well, probably after.
Could someone
the
in the
hotel
band
room,
let me know?
He was probably like, all right, guys, I'm going to see you later. I got a lady.
True, I got
over.
a lady coming over.
Yeah, I don't think that
But-
1 hour before you're like headlining Coachella or,
You would be
main
alone.
staging Coachella. Yeah, you'd be getting warmed up and stuff.
Yeah, together.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I
okay,
think
cool.
because it was the.
Right.
Yeah, because I was thinking that too. I was like, dude, this guy's on in an hour and he's just sitting there.
Yeah, and he's just in his bathroom.
Like,
Stop! Get out of your
You
bathroom.
gotta be having a few beers or something. whatever you do
Cup
before
some
a show.
kombucha, some
Yeah,
salad dressing.
yeah. I would love to know what people do before sets. I feel like a lot of them probably do a lot of drugs.
I
I don't know. There's some, like everyone in the crowd is
Yeah.
messed up. You probably
Yeah.
have beers,
I did have one issue with Hayes.
Ooh.
And the conflict whole thing, like when they're in the recording studio. Was it the recording studio? And no, maybe it's when they're breaking up.
In the Paris, France. No, the South France house.
Yes, it might have been the Southern France house. I don't know. It was sometime where they were having a conversation with doesn't narrow it down at all, but it was like when they weren't really getting along. And he went on like, I feel real when I'm with you. I'm writing really good songs now that I'm with you. Essentially, like, I don't feel whole. And I don't know, this little thing popped into my head, like, it's not her job to make you feel whole. Like, you might have to go fix that problem and not make it a woman's problem and then make her feel bad about that. Because she felt uncomfortable that your friends suck.
Before you get into a relationship, you need to be cool with yourself.
Yes, and you don't have to be perfect, but I don't know. It just felt like he was really using her to like make himself feel whole. And
that stuff's
not on
cringy.
purpose,
No, you don't
but
want to be
it's
doing
just-
that.
I was like, oh,
Yeah, that's a good point. That doesn't lead to healthy relationships.
no, it doesn't.
This-
And I mean, I'm glad they split up
Yes.
for 5 years.
Yes, because 24 and 40,
no,
just no.
No.
No way. I've like, no.
yeah, and he got a little bit like, no, we can make this work. And anyway, and even
But
when
that's what you would expect. From
it's
a
true, it's true.
24-year-old.
And in the car when she was like, it's Izzy, and he's like, I'll quit everything. And I'm like, dude,
Stop.
there's
it.
already things about her being the next Yoko Ono. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've only ever read it.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
And I was like,
You can't do
what?
that.
It doesn't just go away. Anyway, that drove me batty.
I did think it did a good job of doing the like, oh, this is why this can't work, like
Yeah.
classic beat in like the end of the second
Yes,
act in
sometimes
a
it's like-
rom-com.
It's just someone being like dumb
Yeah.
and annoying.
Yeah, or like, oh, we didn't talk about anything and it's
Yeah.
just one giant
It's like,
misunderstanding.
Put
It's like,
your
oh,
pride
Jesus
aside for a
Christ.
second, but this was real.
Yes.
And now we can talk about the kid.
Okay.
What a great segue
Sure.
into real
I
problems.
like the way that their relationship was portrayed because it's
Whose
often,
relationship?
well, the kid and the mother.
You got to be specific.
I like the way that their relationship was portrayed, the kid and the mother,
Mm.
because I hear a lot that when you have a kid and you're really young, you are almost on a similar level
Now they're friends.
where
Yeah.
where you're not quite daughter and
Yeah.
parents.
There's some enmeshment.
There's a bit more of a peer thing going on. So it kind of brings the kid to be a little bit more mature because they're coming up to the level of
Yeah.
their older peer.
Yeah.
And
And-
I really, first of all, I just think that's a really interesting, fascinating concept. Don't really want to have a kid at 16. Too late for me anyway. But I thought that them showing that, it seemed like she was very like, they were good together.
They were friends, but they were also mother-daughter.
I liked it. I liked
Yeah.
their dynamic.
Yeah.
That's everything I got to say.
I don't know. I think, well, my parents have recently divorced. So has it been a year?
Yep.
Yeah, almost a year. Anyway, so I was like, Izzy, I relate to your sister.
Right.
I do. A fellow soldier, even though she was younger, whatever. We're all in the same tree. And I don't know where I'm going with this thought at all. And I think it's actually leading me to say that, what would you do in this situation?
You were Izzy?
I guess for me, like, I like that. I ask you this a lot. Like, I feel like I'm always like, if you were put into the world right now, what would you do? But I think like during it, I was like, okay, I'm closer with my mom than my dad. My dad can be a little bit of a... So I was like, man, what would I do if my mom just started dating like a famous, a real, like an A-list boy singer, 16 years younger than her. And I was
16,
like,
and you're in high school.
I guess maybe.
I think you would have to go live at your dad's place.
Yeah,
well, I mean, this dad at least has a sick house.
Yeah.
At least. And it's not like he's the worst.
Yeah,
dad.
well, my movie would have turned into a horror movie with mice.
And you know, they were joint custody. She was living there a bit anyway. I just think that, unfortunately, would probably be the best decision for
I don't
you
know.
while that gets kind of like settled down.
I think I'd be mad at my mother.
Yes, you would be. Totally.
Yeah.
If
would you be mad at your dad?
This would be the equivalent. Is like your mom starts dating one of the One Direction members, but not your favorite.
Right.
But like one of them.
And nobody will ever know my favorites. You could not waterboard that information out of me.
I don't know. At 16, that would be pretty weird.
It's weird.
And then you can't like leave the house without a million photos. And
I know.
You're getting
and what
stressed
they were saying.
and crying.
Like,
and,
why doesn't Hayes date her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was in a really tough spot. And Celine did make the right decision.
And I mean, it is like, she did.
Yeah.
And it is really tough because she was like, well, I talked to her about it. But it's like, you don't even know what you're agreeing to yet. You don't know. And you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
And that's really hard.
Yeah.
So I guess, what would you do if you were Hayes? You're so famous, Pat.
Probably what played out.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way to really
Well, I'm younger than you, so that's too bad.
I'm assuming it's Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, fair enough. If my mom was Anne Hathaway, I'd be like, yeah, probably. I wouldn't bring her anywhere.
I would probably just wait to grow up a bit.
Yeah.
Because 29 and 44 is still a lot, but like, you're both adults now.
Yeah.
So you do what you want and you figure yourself out. And if that's what you want, then cool.
It's
but
true.
24, it's like, I feel like as someone that's not even 29 yet, at 24, you definitely still got some figuring things out to do.
If you're a guy. Just kidding. Everyone does. I do want to touch on Hayes, though. I looked up how to say his last name. It's played by Nicholas Galitzine. Anyway, he's in a show, Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is a queer show, which we'll have to check out. But he's also in Bottoms, which, okay, seriously, if you haven't seen Bottoms, you have to see Bottoms. I haven't laughed that hard in so long. But he is like the weird, annoying jock who, in my head, always replaces little moment, like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's a great movie that if you haven't seen, you should watch.
And I told you during the movie, like, what was your reaction to that? Because I won't lie, watching it, like Hayes is like very serious,
Dude.
and I was like, that's the guy from Bottoms,
dude. Range. Yeah, he did. It was great, and I liked him in Bottoms.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Overall,
we got to put him on the list. We got to get him. We got to get more jobs for him. We got to get him. We got Nicholas.
Ooh.
Give me a call.
Yeah, I was gonna say overall, like I think I liked all the actors.
Yeah.
Did we like you really hated Daniel? So would you say that actor did a good job?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I also this is jumping back a little bit, but yeah, sometimes two people in like a romance or like who kiss on screen, it looks awful, but they kissed really nicely.
Yes.
If that makes any sense.
Totally.
Like sometimes I watch people kiss and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, you're like, I don't really want to watch this.
Mind watching them kiss. Like it felt so natural and nice. Anyway, they are great kissers.
They sure are.
Kissing, 10 out of 10.
Is there anything else you've got to say?
I don't think so. I mean, I really liked it. I thought the ending was perfect, everyone. I really, really did. It just came together really nicely, and it ended, you know me. I love a movie that doesn't, lag out a lot, and I thought the ending was great. And it left something to the imagination, like, oh, and I'm just so hopeful for them in whatever universe that Solène and Hayes are together. I just hope that they're happy. And oh, it was so cute. Oh my gosh, I can't get over it.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like throwing a pillow. Like Patrick
You
was like,
were.
oh my God.
She was standing up, like body like convulsing. My God, you were going
stood up.
bonkers.
It was like 5 years later, and I stood up. I was up.
You did stand up.
I stood up.
Liv was invested.
There was like 8
in
minutes
this
left,
movie.
and I stood up.
There's gonna be a real high rating for Liv on this one.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, so this movie has an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's good, right? For Rotten Tomatoes?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, out of 100, 81% is good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What do you think of that?
That is really good. I'm glad to see that it's getting good reception because, rom-coms.
It's been out for a bit.
Rom-coms have been done.
Yes.
Right?
But there is a rom-com renaissance.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I feel like there was that like early 2010s sort of era of rom-coms, like No Strings Attached and like...
Oh, yeah, Friends with Benefits.
Yeah, like...
27 Dresses.
Yeah, they
The
were
Proposal.
just like... They weren't great.
Amazing. Oh.
All of them were good.
Oh,
all of them
my
good.
God.
Well, that's for another time. But anyway...
Crazy Stupid Love was exceptional.
It was, but this movie was a nice twist on that. I liked the scenario.
I like a fan fiction twist.
I liked...
this is everyone's dream. I don't care.
As someone that's not a fan of rom-coms, I enjoyed the unique twist on it, and I really liked how it was laid out. I don't love rom-coms, so it's never going to be my most favorite movie. You're allowed
to have a wrong opinion.
Because it's just not my favorite genre.
Me either.
But I can still really respect it, and I do think it deserves that 81%.
I think it's like a feel-good genre.
It is.
Like, the movies make me giddy.
And that's the thing is, I don't get that giddy.
You don't get giddy.
Like, when I see cool stuff, I'm like,
I get giddy about cool stuff.
Like, the girl in Mad Max sniping, I still think about her.
So do I.
So sick.
My brain has room for more than one woman. So shall we get to reviews? I feel like I just had a voice crack there.
I want to, how do I start this? I feel like everything I just said, so let me say it again.
Okay.
I think it had really good character development.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the pieces of arty clothing were part of my favorite. The art in general. Wow, I'm really making this sound weird.
Costumes.
Yeah, the costumes were good.
Oh, you loved that art piece.
I did love the art. It doesn't matter.
Colorful one.
I think overall it was a really well done take on the rom-com genre. And for me, I'm going to give it a respectable...
No, we do reviews first.
Oh, I thought you meant my review.
No, we're going to talk about the reviews.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
You silly guy.
Sorry.
Nice try. So, I wish I could get my voice really deep for saying so. Anyway, so Vanity Fair writes an article called "The Idea of You is Premium Grade Fanfic," which I love. I clicked on it.
That is such a good take. I want to use that for our title.
Ooh, okay. But they compare it to Challengers, and I was like, no, not even in the same.
No.
However, they say that the movie is not a sex fest, but much like the new film Challengers, it runs on the energy of implied sex. And I'm like,
no, so different.
So much more sex in this than in Challengers.
Challengers is sexual tension built up through years.
I don't know who wrote. They're wrong. They're wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, Passion.
Challengers is a better movie. I'm just gonna say.
No, I agree.
Okay,
I agree. And I read that, and I was like, I haven't seen this movie yet, but no.
Yeah.
No. And now that I have seen the movie, no. Anyway, IMDb says that it's a lightweight but entertaining rom-com, but it was far from that. What was I trying to say there?
Well, then which was it?
Let's skip that part and go right to the next part of it. It deals with a lot of societal issues. Oh, so it's not lightweight because it deals with a lot of societal issues. I will say,
does it?
That's okay. Yes, I wouldn't say it gets really
the daughter's
into
like, is he a feminist?
Issues. Yes. Oh my God.
I don't know if I would say it's dealing with a lot of societal issues.
I think it deals with age and the difference between men and women and
That's
dating people younger.
That is a great point. That is the key societal thing
and
it deals
like
with.
motherhood.
Young motherhood.
Yes. I think, and like some like relationship, as rom-coms always do, I wouldn't go so far as say a lot of societal issues.
No.
However, I was expecting it to be more flighty and like lightweight.
Oh, okay.
But it was heavier than I was expecting.
Yes.
I was really, really sad for them.
Yeah,
I really was.
You were crying. I had to like distract you to not cry.
I cry in like every movie. So potato. But it was a lot heavier than I was expecting. Still good. And I'm glad that it was heavier than I was expecting.
We got
Roger Ebert. I also looked up how to say that because I've been reading it forever. Someone who I've been reading film reviews on literally since I could read, said that there was underwritten characters with barely any traits, which is opposite of what you thought. Wade?
Yeah.
Yeah. Solen's character, thinly developed, but Hayes has even less to work with. His only traits are being in love with Solen and maybe wanting to write some songs. I think that's wrong.
I would disagree. I think Hayes probably, well, because he was younger, like he should have the most character development, and I think he did.
I mean, I think we're putting a lot of that into him. Like, it wasn't really given to us.
Okay.
It's
I
not,
can see it.
like, in the end, he sings a song and then he shows up. And that's still being, like, obsessed with Solen.
That's true.
Like, that's really his main trait.
That's
like,
true.
Which, look, I loved it. I ate it right up.
I don't know if Solen really needs to see a lot of character development.
No.
Because she's 40.
It also says, like, later on, if they gave Oscars for bringing underwritten characters to life, Hathaway and Galitzine would be contenders.
Dang. Maybe that's what I'm getting drawn into. And see, that's why I'm not a movie critic, because that is a really poignant take that I failed to see.
It wasn't like they brought those characters to life. And I can see that. Like, if you think about what was written for them, it wasn't a
Dang, that's actually really true.
But I just want to finish it. Though many in the audience may find more satisfaction from the sweet revenge on her cheating ex than the romance, as implausible as it was, we cannot help rooting for Solen and Hayes to find a way to make it work. And holy, that's so correct. I think Nicholas and Anne did a really good job acting. They had so much chemistry and I wanted it to work.
You did.
I was truly like, put everything else on the back burner because they're working out, or so help me God.
And it was so good of just hitting that like realization in a relationship where you're like, dang, this is going to end.
Yep.
I thought they really hit that note well.
And it was painful.
Yeah. And we've broke up, so it was.
Yeah, Patrick and I are dating. What? And we broke up. And when they were doing that goodbye hug, I was like, oh, wow.
It hit.
So maybe if we really liked it, well, this is why people like movies.
Because we
can relate to it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And that's, I mean, maybe he didn't have the best character development.
No,
I guess we didn't really get to see it.
But
I guess
who cares?
Yeah, you're right.
You can still enjoy something without character development.
You're right.
Anyway, so here's a couple funny Letterboxd reviews, and then we can give our score.
Alrighty.
So I actually scrolled back to read some of the people who gave it 1 star because that's kind of funny.
It is.
Someone in air quotes, "Mom, why would you break up with a talented, kind feminist?" And the person was like, "I need to kill myself."
Yeah, you like actively cringed at that line.
Bed Asap. Yeah. And I was like, oh no. Oh, good heavens.
That was tough.
Yeah.
I
was like,
tough,
stop talking.
And I was like, I tried. I even
was some
jumped
Barbie
in
level feminism.
and I was like, Liv, she's 16.
Yes. Pat was like, she's 16. Stop. And I was like, this is why I can't work with 16-year-olds.
You're right. But still, it's like someone needed to inject that line into this movie.
Yeah. Someone was like, I'm a feminist. Anyway, next one.
Someone at Hollywood loved that they got that line in there.
Yeah. Rocky says, my favorite part of this movie was trying to figure out which little gay one was supposed to be Louis Tomlinson, who's a member of One Direction.
I figured. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching and I was like, so who's who here?
Nice.
But
I love that.
I wasn't a One Directioner enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else we
got? Which is funny. Wes says, this is what I think is going to happen between me and the Trader Joe's cashier.
Oh, wow, that's incredible.
And I thought that was just...
That's a really good one.
That was just good. And we'll just really quickly go...
You take a top one? Is there any funny ones, or do you just want to...
Oh, there's some funny ones. I just know that everyone has seen these ones.
Okay,
so.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So the top one is from Sid. Kicking my feet, giggling, sobbing, throwing up, and bricked up in the Paramount Theater right now.
Damn. Yeah.
Oh, and why did you break up with a 24-year-old famous kind feminist? Is this the greatest movie ever made? Oh my gosh. She never put her hair in a messy bun. Okay, no. Yep, and some people really liked it. This movie had me gagged. Great chemistry between Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Gallenstein. Rom-coms this year haven't missed.
Okay.
Anyway.
And I haven't seen a rom-com in a while, so I was also kind of fresh.
Someone said, this may not be everyone's cup of tea, but this shit right here is my crack. And it's true. I ate this up.
It's your crack.
Oh, someone said Nicholas Gallenstein looks at Anne Hathaway the same way I look at Anne Hathaway. It's like
the same way we all do.
Oh my gosh. Pretending I don't know who Lady Gaga is, so this will happen to me.
What?
Okay,
That's
I need
amazing.
to stop.
That's amazing.
Because this is the thing, like these movies that aren't like incredible, like top of the hit blockbuster, they just bring more fun. This is just fun. It's fun.
All right, Liv.
How many times can I say it's fun?
I want to run the reviews.
Okay, let's run the reviews. Run it back, baby. Run it back.
After actually hearing all that, I think I've changed my mind a little bit.
I love changing.
Actually, I'm pulling my rating back just 0.3.
Okay, math wizard.
Yeah, I am the math wizard. Thank you very much.
I didn't even figure out the age. Sorry, continue.
It's like 15 in a few months.
Get it out.
Upon further consideration and all consideration, I'm going to give this movie a 7.2.
Ooh, that's higher than I was expecting.
I think the highest I could give a rom-com, like Crazy Stupid Love is really high for me, actually. So
Crazy Stupid Love for me is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, like, man, that movie's like at least an 8.5, maybe a 9.
It would have been great without the plot twist. Oh my God, the plot twist makes it so much better.
I'd watch that anytime with you. But yeah, I think as far as rom-com goes, it hit some nice beats and it executed pretty well. I can't really...
What was your rating before?
Like a 7.5. But yeah, the characters, the actual characters.
Oh, you brought it down.
I did. Yeah, because there's a really good point. Is the characters themselves, but it was good acting that brought up the actual characters.
Yes, that point was really good. That's why I want to talk about it.
Something I fail to sometimes see.
That's fine.
This person's doing a great job. Jon Snow's doing a great job. Anyway, I'm not over it, but go ahead. What do you got, Liv? What do you got for us? What do you got for us? 9.5's your highest?
I know which ones are highest. I have the list right in front of me.
I'm talking to them. 9.5's your highest for challengers.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry.
I am giving The Idea of You. Also, the title.
Such a good title.
Oh, the title. It breaks my heart. 7.7.
Oh.
7.7.
Wow, I thought you were going to give this like a 9.
Nope.
Dang.
Nope. So this is a really watchable movie. I will go back to this movie and I'll watch it again for a little light. I'm sure probably like Christmas break. I'll go watch it again at my mom's house. No, not my mom's house. I don't want to give her any ideas. So I'll probably go watch it, I don't know, here or something. But as far as rom-coms go, because I do return to rom-coms a lot, I will be returning to other rom-coms more than this one.
Yeah.
I watched Anyone But You recently, the one with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, and I did not like that one as much, but I don't know, this one was heavy. Like, there wasn't a lot of calm.
No.
More wrong.
No.
So it's just wasn't as feel good as what I'm sometimes looking for from a romance. And I'm not one to just turn on a romance. I need the calm.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I thought it was really beautiful and it made me kick my feet, scream. And I really liked it.
Yeah.
And it made me want to love.
I respect the heck out of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that it was based on a fan fiction.
Yeah, that is really funny.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Okay.
Sweet.
That's it.
What's your rating?
I actually would love to hear it.
Yeah. I want to know what people think of this. But I say that about everything. I like to hear thoughts and if they agree or disagree.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, we are available every Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere
Everywhere.
you get your podcasts. And
Except
if you're watching,
we're not.
Yeah, except the places we're not. And if you're watching, thank you so much.
You made it to the deep end.
Give it a like, give it a comment.
Comment that you made it here.
Comment that you're
Do
like,
it.
I'm off the deep. Sorry.
Nice. All right.
Okay.
Bye. 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 Bye.